welcome back to another great and exciting day here in our pre-K and TK classroom. My name is Miss Laura and I'm so grateful to be your teacher this morning. So, like every other day, I want us to start by introducing ourselves. So, if you're at home and you have a loud voice, right now is the time to use it. Tell me your name as loud as you can, and I'm going to try to catch your special letter. Are you ready? Here we go. Ooh, I think I caught a special letter. Let me double check. Is this your special letter? I'm going to need one big line. It's going to cross like this, and then another big line. Is it X? No? Yes? Well, if I didn't get it this time, don't worry. I always try to guess your special letter. And we have an exciting week planned. Today is day 1 of the 5 days that we're going to be together. So let me add a magnet to our 10 frame. I'll add it here in the middle, C1. This week we're learning all about fairy tales. Now, a fairy tale is a make-believe story. It usually starts with once upon a time and ends with happily ever after and teaches you a lesson. And also, there's some magic involved. You know, I love magic. And I also love to sing songs. And today, I have a very special song for you. It's all about fairy tales, and the tune is Jingle Bells. So we're going to be singing this one all week. So try it out with me. It has some movements. It goes like this. Once upon a time, in a land so far away, a princess kissed a frog. Mwah! And that just made his day. Far across the town, Red Riding Hood took fright. Ah! She found a wolf in Granny's bed when she told her good night. Oh, fairy tales, we read them every day. Oh, what fun it is to hear how Goldilocks got away. Hey, fairy tales, full of joy and laughter. Do you know how this one ends? Why, it's happily ever after. Yay! Ooh, I love singing songs with you. And I love learning new things too. So I think Miss Maria, our mail person, dropped something off for us to learn. Let's see if, oh, there's the doorbell. Let's see what's behind the door. Ooh, it's not a letter today. Interesting, something different. It's words, and the words are going to be in the story that we're going to read together. So let's check out our first word. Let's see the special letter. Special letter is S. Makes the sound, and this word is succulent. Can you say it with me? Succulent. That's right. It means full of juice, delicious, yum. So I have a picture of a watermelon here because if you've ever bitten into a juicy watermelon, you'll remember that all the juice spills out and maybe gets on your face. That watermelon is very succulent. Let's check out word number 2. Barging. Special letter B, barging. It means to bump into things. When you're barging around, you are not very careful at all. All right, let's see. The next word is also a B word. It's booming, special letter B, and it's to make a deep sound. I wonder what or who is going to make that deep sound in our mystery book. The last word is a word that you may already know. It's temperature. Can you say that word for me? Temperature. Temperature is how hot or cold it is outside. It measures that. So if you go outside and you kind of look around and feel around, you're measuring the temperature. All right? Do you think you know what our book's going to be about? Let's see. Here it is in the box. Straight from Miss Maria, our mail person. It is Goldilocks and the 3 Dinosaurs. See, here she is. Here's Goldilocks and the 3 Dinosaurs. This book is by Mo Willems, and it is a retelling of a classic fairy tale involving 3 bears. This one's just told a little bit differently. So settle in because it's time for us to read our story. Let's see. Ooh, and look here on the first page on the cover, it says Goldilocks and the 3 whales. Goldilocks and the 3 giants. No, that's not this story. Let's figure out what this story is. There's our main character, Goldilocks. She looks very surprised. Once upon a time, there were 3 dinosaurs, a papa dinosaur, a mama dinosaur, and some other dinosaur who happened to be visiting from Norway. There he is. Now, Norway is another country far, far away. There he is. One day, for no particular reason, the 3 dinosaurs made up their beds, positioned their chairs just so. Why would they be doing that? And cooked 3 bowls of delicious chocolate pudding at varying temperatures. So there they are, cooking that delicious chocolate pudding. And look, that's a tool they're using to take the temperature. Ooh, chocolate pudding sounds good. Oh boy, said Papa Dinosaur in his loud, booming voice. It is finally time to leave and go to the, someplace else. Yes, continued Mama Dinosaur, I sure hope no innocent little succulent child happens by our unlocked home while we are, someplace else. Hee. Oh, she has a very interesting look in her eye. I wonder. Then the other dinosaur made a loud noise that sounded like a big evil laugh. Ha ha ha! But it was probably just a polite Norwegian expression. The 3 dinosaurs went someplace else and were definitely not hiding in the woods waiting for an unsuspecting little kid to come by. There they go into the woods. Doop, 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 doop. I think they're up to no good. Sure enough, 5 minutes later, a poorly supervised little girl named Goldilocks came along. So there she is, coming along. Poorly supervised means no one was really watching her. She was all by herself, and the dinosaurs were hiding in the woods. Look at Papa Dinosaur, even has his tongue out. I think he's thinking about this succulent little girl. Oh no. Just then, the forest boomed with what could have been a dinosaur yelling, "Gotcha!" But I'm pretty sure it was just the wind. The loud noise was immediately followed by another loud noise that sounded kind of like, "Be patient, Papa Dinosaur, the trap is not yet sprung." But that could have been a rock falling or a squirrel. What do you think? Was it a rock falling or a squirrel? Either way, Goldilocks was not the type of little girl who listened to anyone or anything. Goldilocks never listened to warnings about the dangers of barging into strange, enormous houses. So as soon as Goldilocks came across a strange, enormous house, she barged right in. There she goes. Goldilocks, don't do it! It's a trap! Inside, Goldilocks immediately smelled the 3 bowls of delicious pudding. Said Goldilocks. That chocolate pudding smells delicious. If only I could get all the way up to the top of the counter. Then Goldilocks noticed a very tall ladder that just happened to be there and certainly was not left there on purpose. Oh no, I think it's a trap. How do we tell characters in books to be careful? Goldilocks climbed up the ladder and found herself face to face with 3 gigantic, enormous bowls of chocolate pudding. Oh, that would be so much fun to swim in. I wonder if that's what she's going to do. Let's take a look. The first bowl of chocolate pudding was too hot, but Goldilocks ate it all anyway because, hey, it's chocolate pudding, right? The second bowl of chocolate pudding was too cold, but who cares about temperature when you've got a big bowl of chocolate pudding? Not her. I think this would be me. Just dunk my head right in. The third bowl of chocolate pudding was just right. And we say just right, just right. But Goldilocks was on such a roll by now, she hardly noticed. Soon, Goldilocks was stuffed like one of those delicious chocolate-filled little girl bonbons, which, by the way, are totally not the favorite things in the whole world for hungry dinosaurs. I think this was part of their plan. They're trying to make her a little girl, a chocolate-filled little girl, like a bonbon. Tired and groggy, Goldilocks noticed 3 chairs in the living room, so she climbed down the ladder and walked out of the kitchen. The first chair was too tall, the second chair was too tall, but the third chair was too tall. So Goldilocks didn't climb very high to sit on that same chair, so she hiked over to the bedroom. And when she got there, Goldilocks noticed that the beds were also gigantically big. "Wait a minute," she said. "What's going on around here? The bears that live here must be nuts." So she's thinking she's in the classic fairy tale with the bears. Just then, the room filled with a loud, booming noise that was either a passing truck or a dinosaur gloating. "A few more minutes and she'll be asleep. Delicious chocolate-filled little girl bonbons are yummier when they're rested." Oh, I think she's gonna fall asleep. And then the dinosaurs are gonna come. Are they going to eat her? What suspense! Even a little girl who never listens to anyone or anything had to hear that. So she had her listening ears on and heard what the dinosaurs were saying. Goldilocks took a minute to stop and think, which was longer than she had been used to stopping and thinking. There she is thinking. "Hey," she told herself, "this isn't some bear's house. This is some dinosaur's house." Say what you like about Goldilocks, but she was no fool. As quickly as she could, she ran to the back door and got out of there. Look, there she is running. Can you run at home? Use your arms. Get out of there as quick as you can. Just then, a loud plane flew by, which sounded pretty much like a trio of dinosaurs yelling, "Now!" or "Charge!" or the Norwegian expression for "Chewy bonbon time!" Suddenly, and completely coincidentally, the 3 dinosaurs rushed through the front door. There they are. But they were too late. Goldilocks was gone, and all that was left in the house were 3 very disappointed dinosaurs. And the moral is, if you ever find yourself in the wrong story, just leave. The end. Oh, and the moral for the dinosaurs, they have one too. Lock the back door. They would have had Little girl Bonbons had Faye lock the back door. Lucky for Goldilocks. So what did you think? Did you like this fractured fairy tale? One that was a new twist on a classic? I hope so. Now, I love reading books to you, but of course our goal is for you to read. And one of the skills you need is to be able to hear the sounds in words. So we're going to practice that with a game we're calling Dinosaur Stomp. So get your stompers out, and we're going to stomp out these words in syllables. So the parts of the word, the sound parts of a word. So here is our first word. Mama, like Mama Dinosaur. You ready? Let's stomp it out. See, Mama. I'm going to clap it out. Mama. 2 syllables. I'm going to put it over here. Let's do a few more. How about delicious? Ooh, like delicious chocolate-filled little girl bonbons. Delicious. Ready? You stomp, I'll clap. Delicious. 3 syllables. Or 3 parts of that word. Let's do a few more. How about Goldilocks, the little girl who was saved by her quick thinking? Ready? Goldilocks. 3 syllables. All right, let's put her down here. And then we have barging. That was one of the words that we learned today, right? It means to not be very careful and to knock things over, like when Goldilocks barged in through the door. Let's clap it out. Barging. 2 syllables. We'll do one more before I tell you what we're going to do for our project this week. How about pudding? Let's try that. Chocolate pudding. I'm going to have to get some after this. Pudding. 2 syllables, that's right. Now, for our project this week, since we are going to be learning all about fairy tales, I wanted you to have a crown that you can wear, kind of like my crown that I had to dust off from the closet. So join me in the project place and I'll tell you what materials we'll need. Here we go. Right, for this project, which is called a cereal box crown, you're going to need an empty cereal box or a piece of thin cardboard or paper that you can use. You're going to need scissors, some scrap pieces of color paper or markers or stickers or anything you want to use to decorate your crown. You're also going to need some glue, and I'm using aluminum foil, which is going to give your crown this nice shiny effect. Look at this. This is one I made earlier. And see, it looks like a real silver crown with some jewels. So the first thing you're going to need to do is take your cereal box, and you're going to want to take off all the glued parts like this. So we're going to take it off like this and flatten it out. Now, it would be helpful to have a grown-up's help for this part, but you can do it on your own too. The next thing you're going to do is take your scissors, and while you're holding your flattened out cereal box, you're going to cut off the uneven edges. Those are the parts of the box that are not the same as the other straight lines that you see. So here we go. This can be a little bit tricky, but it'll build those muscles that you need for writing all the wonderful words. Maybe you can write some books that I'll later read. That would be fantastic. Okay, cut, cut, cut. All the way down. Perfect. Of course, we don't waste. We always recycle or reuse things that we would normally throw away. The last cut that we're going to need to make before we have our template ready for our crown is we're going to cut down one of the lines of the box. See how my cereal box has lines? We're going to cut straight down there, and it's okay if your line's a little wiggly. Our goal is to get a flattened piece of cardboard. I'm going to cut it out here. All right, ta-da! Here is the material that we're going to use to make our crown. Now the next step we need is we're going to need to cut out our crown shape. Now you can do this by writing directly on the cardboard and figure out what shape you want to make a crown. For me, I like the idea of spikes or triangles so it looks like a traditional crown, but you can do it any way you want. So I'm going to make a zigzag line, up and down, up and down, up and down. I'm going to do this without writing on it, but you, of course, can draw and then just cut along the lines. Now, does it have to be perfect? Goodness, no. How boring would that be? What does that even mean anyway? So you can see I'm going up and down, up and down, up and down. Here we go. Almost to the end. Does it remind you of a certain letter? Yeah, it could be a V, right? Or a W. It's like teeth. Ooh, scary. And here is our crown. We can use both. Look, it's like we made two crowns. So you can share one, maybe make one for your favorite stuffed animal or book buddy. So I'm going to set this one aside, and I'm actually going to use this one right here because it's a little thinner. So the next step, if you want, you can decorate this with just markers or pieces of paper, but I wanted to make my crown extra shiny. So I decided to use some aluminum foil. This is another great way to use recycled materials or materials that you would normally throw away and repurpose them or use them in another different way, like a crown, of course. So we're going to get our glue, and I like to shake it so all the glue falls to the tip. And then I'm just going to put some glue along the edges of my crown like this, tracing it. And sometimes I like to make silly lines, but it's important that you get it on the edges. Okay, there we go. And we're just going to put the aluminum foil right on top, just like that. And you'll notice I missed a little part here. See? That's okay. My aluminum foil wasn't quite long enough, so we're just going to cut out a little part here. You can even flip it over so you can see where that's at. Cut it out just like that. There we go, down the way. And actually, with aluminum foil, you don't need to cut it. You can just fold it over. But since I missed a spot, I will cut it so I can use it over here. Now, wouldn't this be a fun gift to give to someone with a book and a homemade crown and say, you're my favorite person to read books with? Or read this book and thought of you. That would be spreading a little kindness around, wouldn't it? Here's the folding part I was going to show you. See? It just kind of stays. So, last thing we're going to do before I show you how to decorate it is just cut out those triangle bits. There's one. You could reuse those. Those can be teeth, shark teeth, if you use your imagination. All right, here's two triangles. Here's three, and I have one more. And if you take three and add one, that makes how many? That's right, 4. You're an excellent mathematician. All right, last one. We'll fold it over and I'll show you the finished product with the aluminum foil. This is what our crown is looking like. What do you think? Is it worthy of royalty? Not yet. Okay, we'll add some jewels. So I took different color papers and I just cut out ovals because that's what I felt jewels were like little ovals. And a trick that I use, of course, is to stack the pieces of paper on top of each other so you can cut out many jewels at once, or ovals. Now, an oval's like a circle, but it's elongated, which is a fancy word for it's a little bit stretched out. So here we go. There are my jewels. Yellow, orange, green, right on there. I'll do 3 right here. Okay. 1, 2, and 3. This is what my finished crown is looking like. Next and last step is to measure out your head and then staple it, tape it, glue it, wherever it is to make a crown. And if you find that your cereal box is a little too short, just recycle or reuse one of the little cardboard pieces that you cut out and add that to kind of extend it or make it bigger. So I hope that you try to make this crown at home. That way all week you can wear a crown just like me as we learn about more fairy tales. Now before I go, I wanted to recommend a book very quickly. It's the classic tale of Goldilocks. I'd love for you to read it as homework and then compare. How is it the same and how is it different from the book that we read today? It looks like we're almost out of time. So I just want to give you a big smooch from way over here and a big squeeze and remind you to come back. We'll read more fairy tales together. Goodbye.